Here we go with letter 18. It's a bit of a long one. So it's to Thaddeus Rufinus. Starts off with the usual salve. Falsum est, it's false. Nimiram, obviously. What is credited, what is believed by the vulgar, by the common people. Creditor is probably going to take an infinitive here. The testamenta hominum of a man, here's the infinitive, is a speculum, is a mirror of his mores, of his character or something. When we've got something going on, Domitius Tullus, longe by far, is melior, is better, it appears, or he appears, in morte quam in vitae, in death than in life. 2. Nam 4. Cum se praebuisset. Looks like he offered himself to be captured, which means he put himself out in the market. He left a filiam heredem. He left a daughter as his heir, which, was that dative? Which to himself with his brother he had in common, queer, because he had adoptiverated the genita, the girl born from his brother. So he offered himself out to legacy hunters, is what that Captain Geron thing's about. Prosecutus est, comes from a deponent. Prosecutus usually means to follow or to escort. Includes writing, I think. So nepotes is usually ancestors, can be nephews, it's probably grandsons most likely. Plurimus legatus, these are the legacies. Jucundissima, and they're very pleasant ones. So his grandsons followed up with a lot of very pleasant legacies, and prosecutus, etiam, pro neptem. We say great in English, they put pro in front, so this is his great-granddaughter, his pro neptem. She even got a cut of this state. In sum, I want to say the summing up, omnia pietate plenum. All of this will, I'd say, was filled up with his piety, and tanto magis, so much more. This was in expectata. Let's start off talking about the guys mores up there, etc. So we'll have an early daily dictionary. Prosequor, describe in detail. So prosecutus est, comes from that supine form of the deponent. So I'd say it was describing here in his will. So 3, ergos, therefore then, sermons of various natures through the whole civitate, through the whole citizenry or the whole city probably, with ale. Some people are loquanting, they're saying he's fictum, makes up things, he's ingratum, he's ingrateful, and he's not being reminded of them, or he's not thinking of them, he was in memoriam. But themselves, the ipsos, these people, while they're insectatoring him, while they're carping at him or whatever, they are produnting. They're betraying themselves. There's no say here, actually, what there's to say. With very foul confessions. So they're showing how crappy they are. What have we got? Or is it a so that or an as? I'll just take it as for now. Those, or he who was, looks singular. Who was a father, an avo, a grandfather, and there's that pro bit, and a great grandfather. And they're talking about him quasi as if, here's the complaining bit, quaranta, as if he was without offspring or suboles and without children and grandchildren. And we have ali, correlatives. So other people are contrary to this. They feront, they bear, or they say, it looks like they're giving him laudibus, they're praising him basically. Quod, because sit frustratus improba spes. Looks like this wicked hope of humans thus is shows how in vain it was. This is showing the moribus, this is the mores of the times, the customary habits people have that time to deceiving, decaping deceiving and cheating. Ad etiam, they had even, looks like it's reported speech here, not to have been free, liberum, to die, with another testament. So they're just justifying. For neither had he reliquity, he hadn't left his oaths, his resources, and his wealth to his daughter, but he was reducing, he was returning, by which he had auctus, which he had increased his own wealth, looks like per filium through his daughter, for he had, so it's pluperfect or whatever. So no, but yeah, they're just saying he shouldn't have given another testament to all these leeches and parasites, basically, because his daughter had something to do with him getting this money, and he's just reducing it. He's reducing it. He's returning it to her. Okay, 4. Curtilius Mancia, some fella, looks like he's very very hatred towards his Genorum, that's his son-in-law, Domitium Lucanum, for he is the frater, the brother of Tullius. Tullius is this guy who we're talking about. Under this condition, his daughter, so it looks like one guy's daughter is the other guy's granddaughter. We have these pronouns here, suam and eus. He had instituted or made her the heir. Looks like if, so this is a condition. Asset that she was emissus. She was sent out from she was like manumitted. She was let go from the power patris of her father. And I've just bumped the microphone, so hopefully the volume's the same. The pater, the father, emiserated, let her go, and the patruus, the uncle on the brother's side, adoptiverated her. And thus, with the ablative absolute, with the testament circumscriptoed, sidestepped or whatever, the consors frater in fratris potestam. Consort, as you know, means it's sort of shared. So the brothers were now sharing in this, and the potestam of the emancipatem filiam. I've got a bunch of accusatives there. So the emancipated daughter was revocated back into power. She was brought back into power by this fraud of adoption. So to the father again. So there was a condition that he had to let her go, and then his brother adopted her, and this way he still controlled her. And so quidem indeed cum opibus amplissimus. And so with ample or very full resources coming into the mix. And so it's a long one today. Fuit, there was, alioque, if it's an adverb, it usually means otherwise or in general, illus, to these brothers, as if quasi, datum by fate, given by fate, that they ferent, they become divotees, they become rich, invitissimus, very unwillingly by certain people, factos, that they become rich, so it looks like they were destined by fate because other people had other intentions. They were invitissimus. Quin etiam, why even? Some people say moreover when they see that. Quin literally means why not, so a lot of the 18th century people usually say nay when they see it, but I usually just say why even domitus afer, who illos, they assumed in name, assumpted in name, they must have been adopted as well. He reliquited a testament, anti decim and octo annos non capatum. So this was named 18 years before, and for this reason, adioque, afterwards, improbatum, it was to him. He didn't really approve of it, so that the goods, the bona of the father eorum of them, so their father, he took care that he proscribed, he took their goods, basically he stole it or something like that. Mirror ilius asperatus, something to wonder at, the asperity or the harshness ilius of him, that's a singular, and amazing is the felicitas, the luckiness horum of those. So this would be the father, the adopted father, and horum would be them. The asperity of this first guy, who exceeded numero civium. He was even a socium. He was even in alliance in these children that he had with him. Because the both of these men shared these sons, one by birth, one by adoption. And the luckiness of them, quibus successit in the locum. So they were adopted in the place of their father by the man who had abstulated their father. So the men who had taken away their father, I guess he maybe killed him, so taking their goods. Pretty rotten thing to do, really. But if you put all that together, the second father proscribed and took all the goods of the birth father, and he was very asperitas. And in fact, they were felicitas because they were lucky that they were still adopted by the guy who took all this money. Anyway, this qui numero exceeded the number of the civic. There's like a roll which had all the citizens' names on it. Looks like he's rubbed out the names from the citizenry. Anyway, these who were the heirs of Aphri, these people, reliqua quasi. So what was left with the brothers was transmitter erat to the daughter of the filia fratris. It's a big long family mess by looks of things. Okay, but anyway, what was left of this? A lot of money was given to the daughters, by which Tullius institutus her the heir. Assays, a strange way of putting. Sometimes it means a coin or being roasted. I'd say here it means one, the one sole heir, from where you get like one small coin. And he prelatus this inheritance to the daughter so that he could reconcile all of his family members or something like that. It really is a long one today. Prelatus comes from preferi tuli latus, means being preferred. Prefer comes from that. Anyway, it looks like which testament was rather praised, Lord Abilius, because of his pietas. That's his piety, his fides, his loyalty, and his pudor. That's a bit of a sense of shame and modesty. Had been written in this testament, in which Deniqui finally, with all his affinibus, with all his relations, pro officio for their works, cuis, towards him, he related some gratia. He gave a lot of thanks, and it looks like thanks to his uxor as well. This is his second wife. Try to speed this along. 8. Accepted. The wife accepted very pleasant villas, accepted great amounts of money. She was an uxor optima, a great wife, and she was very patient, and so much more she merited from her husband. Quanta is much more because she was reprehended, because she had nupsed him, she had married him. And speeding along, name for a woman, Clara, famous natalibus from birth, with proba moribus. She was upright in her mores, and she was declining in age, or he was declining in age, even. For a long time she was a widow, a mother for some time, leastly decore, or suiting, it seemed, person she secured, she followed in matrimony, a rich old man, thus with dying in sickness or something, which was Tadi, which is very tedious, very unwilling for a wife, when he was a young man and he was sanus, he was healthy, to have duxed. That's the male version of marrying someone is duxing, where the female version is nupsing. 9. Since or indeed or something, in all limbs, members, he was extorstus, he was twisted and fractus, broken, and such opes, such resources he had, he could only opabat them with his eyes, he could only enjoy them with his eyes or something, and they quit him, not even in his lectulo, in his bed, unless ab alis, by others could he be moved. Why even indictu, in saying a foul and pitiable thing, his dentes, his teeth, he had to offer to be lavandos, washed, and fricandos, to be brushed. Auditum frequently is frequently heard by him when he was querenting, when he was complaining concerning his debilitating insult, the digitos, the fingers of his slaves, Cottate daily, he would lick them. 10. Nevertheless, he was living and he wanted to live, sustained greatly by his wife, whose blame of incohating, of beginning matrimony, was turned, her perseverance was turned into glory. Nearly done. 11. Habes omnes fabulas. You have all the stories, urbis of the city, for sunt omnes, for they are all stories. Tullus, tell us the stories. The auction is waited for it will be so copious as very ample gardens. In the same day he bought, he instructed or set up plurus many antique statues. Tantum, such beautiful works for him were neglected, which are put in sheds or something, and in turn, you, if there's something dignum worthy, put in a letter and don't gravare me, don't begrudge me, for when the ores hominum, from the ears of men, they are happy with new things, to hear new things, to such a rationale of life, we learn of these examples. Vale, farewell, goodbye.